It's been more than a decade since the human genome was mapped. Now the technology is in place to test individuals to lay out their genetic makeups. While the technology is there, the discussion often creates questions and, in some cases, ambivalence.
Brad Popovich has been donating his DNA to Genome BC for nearly a decade. He says he had no issues with testing to a whole host of genetic markers, save and except one: Alzheimer's, a condition that plagued both his grandmother and mother at the end of their lives. It was the latter's death that prompted him to take that test.
It just kind of, though, was a real experience for me, saying that, you know what, if I knew, I may make personal decisions a bit earlier and more wisely. But it was a tough one. I mean, I have to be honest. I mean, it's really tough.
He says there are so many positive things to having your personal makeup mapped. You would know in advance of any risks, such as cancer, in your genes. And there's a Hollywood example of that.
You know, Angelina Jolie being a great example. I mean, she knew she had a very, very high risk of breast cancer in her family based on her mom. And when she got tested, she knew she had a personal risk that was very, very high. And she took the very radical move, I mean, in particular for an actress like her, to have her breasts removed.
UMBC is full of young people with their entire lives ahead of them. And still, these young people are divided on whether they would like their DNA mapped.
It's kind of exciting not knowing what's going to happen in your life, so I don't think I would do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know, it'd be cool to know like how your like ancestor stuff and everything. Yeah.
I also would, yes, just because it would be beneficial, I think, for health reasons.
Rather just let chance play out, and it may, I guess, affect my decisions.
However, there's another glaring issue that has yet to be dealt with. Who has access to that intensely private information? Can insurance companies use that to determine who gets coverage and who doesn't? And that's not all.
And the second one was companies that have pensions, because the pension ends up being the most expensive part of a person's employment. So a perfect employee would be a person who's going to die at 50 or die at 55, right? It's before they actually start to collect their pension. And so, and that was acknowledged way back in the Reagan administration.
Genome BC is working closely with the medical community to identify opportunities for further engagement. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.